Alrighty, we are officially live. Another Plumbstream coming at you on a Saturday night. Normally we start at 7 p.m. Toronto time, but we're a little bit late. We're about 15 minutes late, but what the heck? Let's get into this. Let's talk everything plumbing, how everybody's week has been, how plumbing's going. Some of you are still on lockdown because of COVID-19. Some of you are actually working. We're going to let a few people pop on here basically to hang out, ask some questions. I mean, this is my time I'm dedicating to you all so that you can talk to me live. Tell me what's going on. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're doing with plumbing. Anybody out there? Let's talk some delicious plumbing. Let's go do it. What's going on, peeps? Shoot your questions out at me. I want to know how your week's been treating you, how you all have been. Juan, what's going up, brother? And we got Victor. Yo, what's cracking? How's everything going? Vic, are you still in Philly? Joan, hi, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Let me know how everybody's plumbing week is going. If you have any plumbing questions, shoot them at me. I'm here to answer questions. Michael, how many industrial plumbing service calls do you get usually? Mike, we get, yes, sir, you're on a hike. So Vic, you're going somewhere else from what I remember. Mike, we get a few calls, I guess every 6 months. We have a couple of customers that have industrial sites that we end up going out to and doing. It's not Rich, what's going on from Massachusetts? How you doing, Rich? Hope you're doing well. We don't get a ton of them. We typically do more residential to Indianapolis. That's right, Vic. We typically do more residential stuff, and we do also commercial stuff. But we do get some industrial calls. I remember we've snaked some drains for industrial. We've also brought out the drain camera for industrial stuff. So, man, honestly, Dad and I get whatever we can get our hands on, we get our hands on. We have a hard time saying no to work, and that's basically how we function. That's why we go all the way from rough-in work to drain calls to, industrial stuff, whatever we can do. So, Vic, Mike, I made the big change from service to industrial plumbing, and I'm just loving it. Awesome, Mike, that's great news. What's the difference? What difference do you find between industrial and you were saying service, mainly service? So do you do new construction industrial? Chris Healy, is Roto-Rooter an okay way to start apprenticeship, or would you recommend a small shop? Chris, if Roto-Rooter, wherever you're applying to, does rough-in work, does service calls, and actually can get you an apprenticeship, period, then it's a good shot. It's a good way to get your foot in the door. I don't think you need to discriminate against what kind of company you join. What you have to do is find out if they can get you an apprenticeship. If they can, say yes. Get your foot in the door and try it out for 3 to 6 months. Try it out for 6 months, and if you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, all right. You gave it a shot, you got some hours, and you put your foot in the door, which is the most important, and then you can start applying other places. So, Chris, don't discriminate against what it is at first. Just get your foot in the door, find out if you enjoy it, find out if the individuals around the company are people you like, and then keep moving from there. Give me a sec. I got lots of questions. Vic is going, Kenny, can we hear a song from your album, Vic? I wish I could do that for you, but I don't have another phone on me right now, but album's coming out in about a week, August 1st. I really appreciate you bringing that up, Vic. I know it's going to be a big surprise, but it's EDM. There's a little bit of dubstep in it. There's a lot of rapping. I rapped through 3 songs. Man, honestly, it's 4 years worth of work. I was doing the math. I was basically living with my parents when I first started this project, and I've come a long way. And the first track is a big EDM kind of banger. So, man, I'm really excited for you all to hear it because there are aspects of it where I talk about plumbing. The very first song on the album is called OMG TPH. OMG TPH stands for Oh My God, the Plumber's Here, and you'll understand in the song why it's named that. Your girlfriend's excited to hear it, LOL. Thanks, Vic. Thank you to your girlfriend as well. Let her know that I really appreciate the support. I got some questions coming this way. Give me a sec. We got Joan. Hey, I'm glad you're answering questions. I need your help. I'm recently working on a movie theater kitchen. Wow. I've never done a movie theater kitchen. Joan, send me questions. Let me know what's going on, what you're stuck with. Tanya Wang, but I know Tanya, we're actually talking to Tanya's husband, I think. I have a question. Is it okay to put the shutoff valve with a bleeder upside down? Thanks. So, Mr. Wang, here's what you ought to know. The bleeder is intended to drain the water. So upside down kind of goes against what it's intended for. If you have a chance, you want to turn it the other way. You want the bleeder to be facing down, and you also got to make sure it's facing in the direction where the water's supposed to drain. So if this is on a main line, you got to make sure it's on the house side. So that when you shut the water, you can actually open the bleeder and drain the bottom floors or all the floors above it, sort of thing. If this is out to a hose bip, then you want to do the same. You want to make sure it drains the line of the hose bip and not the pressure side of the line. I hope that makes sense. It's in the main line. So, Mr. Wang, look, this happens to people from time to time. If you can't shut that water again, unfortunately, you can't shut that water again. You know, there's a mistake on that line. But if you are about to go to a call and you can get that main line shut off again, or you're going to do that job now, then make sure you shut it and have it facing down. Okay, so, you know, it's a tough situation you might be in depending on which way the situation is right now, but unfortunately, it should be facing down, and you got to make sure it's facing on the house side so that you're draining the house side and not the pressure inside, okay? I hope that helps. All right, so Chris, no problem. Joan is asking, I'd like to know if you can help me out with pipe size for the water lines and how the hot water return works. Okay, Joan, first of all, in regards to the pipe sizes for the water lines themselves, you're not talking about the drainage system. That's a little bit more of a complicated situation. I would have to sit down and find out all the fixtures that are involved, and also find out distances as well. So typically you have what the water is coming in at going to the hot water tank. So if it comes in at 3/4 inch, it's going all the way cold 3/4 inch into the cold side. And then hot might distribute 1/2 inch or might continue distributing 3/4 inch, depending on the distance and the amount of fixtures in the entire thing. So I can't do that off the top of my head. It's a lengthy process. Maybe down the road I'll show a process of how to do that. But if you're talking about potable water and you're not talking about heating, then it really depends. I know for very long distances, sometimes people opt to put in recirculation pumps as well. So it gets complicated depending on how you engineer it and how big this system is. Let me know what line comes in. Is it a 1-inch line that comes in on the main? Because if it's 1 inch, most likely you're going 1 inch to wherever the hot water system is. I'm not sure though. Like normally I see 3/4 going to the hot water tank and then a 1/2 inch going out, but those are residential houses, you know what I'm saying? So Joan, give me a bit more details, maybe I'll be able to help you. Michael Porter, yes, new industrial plumbing. The biggest thing I thought was that service was the only type of plumbing until you do industrial plumbing. It's a whole other ball game from plumbing. So Michael, what are the differences? What are you doing now that you never did before? I'd be interested to know that, because I've never done industrial new construction. I've done commercial new construction, so I'm really curious. No problem, Mr. Wang. Rich is saying, recirc lines usually get a T between the furthest two fixture here in Massachusetts. See, Rich, I'm not even sure, to be honest, what happens here, because what I mainly see is residential. So this theater would be a commercial unit. So I really don't know what the difference is, and if it does take a recirculation line. I remember my teacher saying that if you're ever doing a custom home, that you want to run a recirculation line for sure, because custom homes typically have like long runs. And Joan is saying you're running an 1.5 inch line, hot copper, and 3-inch mains. Wolf Flex, what's going on? Yo, yo, yo. So Joan, I honestly, what I don't know, Joan, if there is a schematic, if there is some sort of a blueprint, you want to go off of that, because with that, you'll know exactly what to distribute when. Rich is saying that's residential. I'm talking about the, you're talking about and connects the water heater on the cold water line that goes into heaters and have a check valve. Gotcha, Rich. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Joan should do. Joan, if you have a schematic, that's the best way to go, because it's probably been engineered for you. And if it hasn't been engineered, then you have to sit down, find out how many fixtures you're running, and you also have to find out the distances, and then you got to find the appropriate charts. Here in Ontario, there are like 3 different charts that you have to be able to flip between to know exactly what the numbers are going to be for you. So I couldn't do that off the top of my head, and if I wanted to. And if you're running an 1.5 inch main line, then it's a significant diameter. You're getting a lot of volume there, so you really want to find out. Just use 3/4 water line to save your butt, Wolfflex is saying. But the line would run from the last 2 fixtures furthest away and connect back at heater on cold inlet. Joan, maybe Rich's information might be useful. All right, thanks, Wolfflex. Thanks, Rich, as well. I wouldn't know unless I sat down and I knew all the fixtures. Joan, it's a little bit of an intricate process to find that out. Kenny, how'd you propose to your girlfriend? I'm ready to... Oh, Vic is proposing soon. Oh, Vic, huge congratulations, first of all. Second of all, the way I proposed to my wife was... Man, when you talk about it, it sounds a little bit silly, but I ended up doing a scavenger hunt, basically. I guess that's what you would call it. It was basically a scavenger hunt where I put out a bunch of different clues for her to drive around and find a bunch of different things. I was with her the entire time, so I was basically her chauffeur during this process, but I was giving her the clues, and then I'd take her and she'd get a gift, and then she'd get another gift, and right at the end, I took her to a special place that was special for me and my family, my grandparents and my parents. And I basically just, I kind of tried to misdirect her so that she was going to get another gift, but really she'd turn around and see me on one knee. And bro, I gotta be honest, it was an experience I wasn't expecting, because my wife was like, thanks, Vic. Thank you, Wolfflex. I appreciate that. Joan, yeah, this is the first time that I'm working on a design building, and I do not have a good blueprint to follow, because as soon as I looked at the blueprint, none of the sizes were right. Joe G, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Joan, listen, if there's a blueprint, oh man, Joan, listen, if there's a blueprint that was engineered and it was given to you by an engineer, you need to get the owner to talk to that engineer. And the engineer is probably going to blast you because a lot of times engineers feel like they're spot on about things. From what I hear, I don't talk to a lot of engineers, but you're going to have a conversation take place between the owner and the engineer, because look, if that's engineered the wrong way, then that's on the engineer. If you pipe it in the wrong way, going off of your head or your own measurements, that is on you and you'll get in trouble. Vic, I'm so happy to hear that, brother. I'm so happy that that you're in love. Vic, how long you been with your lady, man? So just to finish my story, yeah, so the last place on the scavenger hunt was me being on my knees. So here's how my wife responds, okay? You expect a moment where everybody goes, oh, my wife, what? Like, it was the weirdest response. She kind of looked at me and she went like this, legitimately. She went, oh my God. And I was like, and she was standing there just going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I was still on my knee going, so is that a yes? Like, well, what's the deal? And she's like, oh yeah, it's a yes, but oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, what is this? This is not the response I was expecting. So Vic, just so you know, if you don't, girl, my knee hurts exactly. So it was like, I was like, where's the romance, man? Like they play it up in movies, bro. Real life is different. It just doesn't happen the way you plan most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, it's cold outside. It's Canada winter. Like, come on, man. Like, give me an answer. She's like, oh yeah, of course. But I was like, Man, anyways, that's how it went down. Vic, how 9 years, Vic, bro. You're on the same track as me. My wife and I, or my fiance or my girlfriend at the time, yeah, we were at like the 7 year mark, 8 year mark as well. So, bro, you gotta make sure. I'm glad you basically went through two undergraduate degrees right there. So you're good, man. Pop the question. I'm sure she's been waiting. Um, I want to know the details about how you do it. And no stealing now. No scavenger hunts. You could take the idea. I don't mind. Sue, what's going on? I got accepted in the local union. Oh, wow. You're two women in a class of 30 total people. I'm excited and a little bit scared. Sue, congratulations, man. That's amazing. Good for you, first of all, just getting your foot in the door. Sue, weren't you at another company recently, or was that another person? Either way, congratulations on getting into the local union. Don't be scared. I'm sure you've been honest about where you're at in regards to your knowledge. If you're green and you told them you're green, they know that. And I think, and from what I hear, unions are pretty good at starting their apprentices off. You know what I'm saying? So, Sue, you're in good hands. Find out how it goes in the next little while. Try it out and then go from there. If you like it, stay. If you don't like it, leave. That's the beautiful part of living in a free society. You own your labor. If you don't like the people around you, if people don't appreciate your labor, you say, listen, it's not for me. I'm out of here. Thanks. No, I'm not in another union. Okay, Sue, but keep going. That's amazing. Amazing stuff. When do you start? That's the question. I want to be on top of this. I want to know how it's going. Please let us know. Chris. Chris is going, where in Mass are you to Rich? And Chris is in Worcester, and Rich is in Sturbridge. Kenny, man, Sue, great job. I'm so proud of you. Good for you. But I think if I'm right, I have to split the number of fixtures I have. Am I right? I have 6 carrier toilets in the restroom area, 3 urinals, and 6 sanitary sinks. So, Joan, look, in Ontario, we have special charts to figure this out. So, in other words, you have to go according to the fixture units because there's an entire different chart of fixture units, and you got to go distance. That's how it works here in Canada for us. So, or sorry, in Ontario here for us. So we have to use that in order to ascertain what the pipe size is going to be as you get to your furthest fixture. So, Joan, I'm not sure. What you need to do is, if you're not going to have a conversation with the engineer, then you need to get the appropriate charts if there are charts, and the appropriate codes if there are codes. Okay, that's what you got to do. That's your number one thing you have to do. Go get those, sit down, count out all your fixtures, find out how far your furthest fixture is, and then you got to find the appropriate charts and find out the sizes that correlate to the distance and amount of fixtures there are. All right. Wolf Flex is from Texas. Wow. Wolf Flex, how's plumbing going in Texas, fam? Is everything good there? Man, I hear Texas is doing pretty bad with numbers, so just be careful, will you? Kenny, this will be my 4th year in the union. Vic, awesome. And are you still working on the casino, Vic? Or are you did you already put in a transfer to Indianapolis? What's going on there? And Vic, when are you going to pop the question? Don't let your girlfriend see this video. You're going to give it away. Tradesman plumber, still not a journeyman. Okay, well, Flex, good for you. Keep up the trade, keep it going, and get those hours. Sue is saying, now I got to decide when to tell my current job goodbye. Our classes start September 1st, Tuesday and Thursday. Sue, 2 weeks notice, like somebody said. Who said that? Wolf Flex, give him 2 weeks notice, Sue. I think that's the appropriate thing. I think that's within your rights. So Wolf Flex, good advice. You ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. How did your dad come up with your company name? So you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. Listen to this. My dad, whose background is all Greek, goes to where you register your plumbing company, and he goes, okay, I want Alpha Plumbing. And they go, you can't do it, sir. Alpha's taken. So he started going through the Greek alphabet, which is alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mi, ni. And he's going through, he goes, Sigma. And they go, Sigma you got. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. All right, let's see. Wolflex, yeah, we're doing good. Wearing masks, shoe covers, gloves, sanitizer, and cleaning job sites before and after. Just cautious. Wolflex, that's what I love to hear. That's all you can do. You're taking the appropriate precautions, whatever company you work for, or if it's your company, you're doing the right thing. Just be safe as best. Kyle Fogel, what's happening? Give me 1 sec. We'll chat. So Sue is in Texas as well. Sue is located in Texas as well. Talking to Wolflex. Rich, are you hiring for an apprentice plumber? Victor saying, I'm currently in the process of transferring to the local 440. Okay, Vic, awesome, because I know you were saying you really want to get out of Philly. I hear you, fam. I know Philly, from what I hear, it got pretty rough out there. I hope Indianapolis is safer. And I hope, man, I hope you popped a question and she says, yes, I'm sure if she's been with you this long, she's just waiting. Rich is saying it's just a family business, him and his son. Dallas, Texas is where Wolflex, do you know Christian Guzman? I watched that guy, man, that guy is so inspiring. I've been watching that kid for years, man. Peeps, if you don't know Christian Guzman, man, he's just the biggest entrepreneur I've ever heard of. He owns Alphalete Athletics. He's opening up Alphaland. Every time I watch his videos, I go, man, I am like miles behind. I got to put my butt into gear and get moving. You know what I'm saying? Really inspiring, great guy. Seems like a sweet, sweet man. Joan is saying, thank you, man, and thank you, guys. That's what I'm doing. I ended up 3-3-inch lines from the last 2 fixtures. 3-inch lines. 3-inch lines. So, Joan, it's supposed to get smaller as you get to your furthest fixture. Oh, he's by the Houston area. Okay, so in other words, sorry, Joan, let me just try to explain this real quick. Oh, I end up using 3/4 inch from, okay. Hold on. Okay, sorry. I'm behind. Let me catch up, peeps. All right, Kyle, what's going on? My installs are residential only and don't have an engineer size our system. We followed the WSFU and distant chart for the UPC for sizing. I always lobby to recirculate hot. All right, Kyle, I appreciate you letting them know about that because I do not WSFU and distance charts. So, Joan, Kyle's saying the same thing. You're going to need a couple of charts in order to figure out what your furthest fixture is going to be. And usually your furthest fixture, like what I remember from trade school is you have branches that branch off and split off into smaller sizes, but the main line will get smaller and smaller as you get further, and then the branches get even smaller than that. But as you get to the further, once you get to the water meter, as you were saying, was 1.5 inches. And that's how it typically works. So in other words, you have 1.5 inches coming in, and then it'll split for your hot water system. And then the hot going out will be sized itself, and then the cold will be sized itself as well. Honestly, it's one of the hardest things that I remember learning in trade school, and you really had to be meticulous about finding out the numbers. Kyle, thank you for that info right there. Okay, so I ended up using 3/4 line for my last 2 fixtures and reconnected into the hot water heater. Okay, Joan. Joan, I'm not sure. I wish I could help you, but I really need to be way more in depth into what's going on in there, what the fixtures are, and also I need to see the blueprints as well to be able to give you a better estimation as to what you should be expecting. My goal is to subcontract, so I'm saving up for a decent diesel truck and more tools, so when I have as much experience, then I can subcontract. Wolflex, that sounds like a good idea. I think that's a typical system of what happens right now. I know companies that will essentially subcontract their work out to people. So in other words, they're a plumbing company, they take care of service and whatever, but they get so busy, they'll call up Wolflex and they'll say, look, I've got a job here. You price it out, add $300, $400, $500 on top of the bill. For me, and call it. See if it works out, sort of thing. Or just spot me 200 and you get to take it over. That's an awesome idea. Christian Guzman, he's by the Houston area on the suburb, Sugarland, Texas. He has Energy Drink 3D. It's on 7-Elevens. I know, Wolflex, the guy, that man and his crew, so impressive. Am I right? So impressive. Maybe he means 3/4. I think he did mean 3/4, Chris. I think Joan meant 3/4. Rich, in my opinion, that's too big. We used 1/2 inch to get back to water heater. You're flowing way too much water back to the heater. Kyle says 3/4 return from most remote fixtures back to water heater with stainless steel pump pulling back to cold inlet or drain on storage type heater. Check valve on the cold aquastat and thermostat insulated. Kyle, that sounds like some in detail stuff. Wolflex says, so I saw that you were live and I was wondering who's this guy. I saw plumbing, so I clicked. I went through your account and I remember that I saw your videos before I applied for my apprenticeship. Awesome, Wolflex. I appreciate you coming in and checking out. Nate Bear, what's happening? Hey, man, just wanted to jump in as a guy changing careers at 30 from the medical field to this. Your informational videos are dead on for apprentice basics. Nate, I appreciate the support. I appreciate that you've been checking out the videos, and I'm super happy to find out that they've been helping. Nate, if you have any questions, send them this way. That's why I'm here. Wolflex says, your videos helped me get into the trades 2 years later, and I'm a tradesman. Oh, Wolflex, that's beautiful, man. I'm loving to hear that. If I'm in Toronto, will you get a beer with me and my girl? It's on me. Vic, if you come to Toronto, it's on me, baby. You just got to tell me when you're going to be here, and I'll make time. Trust me. Trust me. That'd be awesome, bro. Absolutely. Joan, I'm really sorry I can't help more in that situation, but I hope the information I've been saying is useful. I think Kyle and Rich, the Italian plumber, have some great information as well. I hope that helps you solve your problem. If you can't, if this isn't enough information, again, go to the blueprint and make sure there's a conversation between the owners of the cinema and also the engineer, because those have to be spot on. And again, there's a liability issue. If you pipe it the way you want to pipe it, you can get in trouble for that if it's not up to code down the road. For water lines, do you like to use copper or CPVC? So Vic, we typically use copper, but that's only because a lot of the places we go into already have copper coming in. And then whenever there is PEX, we do use PEX, but whenever we do a renovation, we end up using CPVC or PEX or whatever you call it, basically. So I actually really like using PEX as well, just because it's way faster. You could travel that pipe way faster than you could do copper. But I really enjoy copper just because there's a lot of art involved in it. You know what I mean? Like I really like being detail oriented with it. And I'm trying to get better at my soldering, basically. So any opportunity I get, I basically cherish it. Chris is saying, oh, CBVC is different. Okay, gotcha. Thanks. You ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. Yeah, Joan, sounds like it's not worth losing sleep over. They created the blueprint. If there's an issue, definitely bring it up. I agree, Chris. I think that's the first move, basically. Have a good stream, man. I'm going to go stream some games. Have fun, Wolflex. What game you playing? I want to know. I definitely will. I will hit you up. CPVC and PEX are different. Which one's CPVC? That's not Wurzbo, is it? Either way. Peeps, hit me up with questions. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. How's everything going in the areas that you're in? Are you in lockdown right now? Toronto is potentially going to... That's the hard plastic. Okay, thanks, Rich. CPVC is the white pipe, Schedule 40. Okay, we don't use CPVC. We typically use PEX, basically. PEX, if we're using plastic, sometimes we go Wurzbo, and then we typically do everything else as copper. Kyle, did a house in PEX recently and it was weird. Felt more like an electrician than a plumber. Hope no rodents get a hold of it. Uponor system with Milwaukee expansion tool it was. Uponor, got it. Kyle, I gotta agree. There's a little bit of a arts and craftsy feel to using PEX. I really don't mean to disrespect PEX, but it just feels so like after you crimp it, you go, man, that was way too easy for it to be like, I don't know. I see what you're saying, though. I'm with you. Sabbath, just over, starting the week off, listening to Plumbing Livestream with Kenny. L. Saunders, appreciate you hanging out, friend. Really appreciate it. Why are Canadians nicer than Americans? LOL, I grew up in Massachusetts. Chris, I'm not sure if that's true, man. America is known for being one of the most generous countries in the world. Like, whenever there is some sort of world catastrophe, like, like a hurricane or something like that, I know Americans dish out a lot of money to help their fellow nations. So I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm sure you can meet, well, look, you can meet some really nasty Canadians. Don't get it twisted. We got our version of angry out here, but I'm not sure if we're all the nicest. David Dillon, oh, always hanging out, always hitting me up with the super chat. Pex is the best, love it. And for your information, heading back in the field on the 4th. David going back in. Man, they're gonna uncage the beast. Get ready, Bluegrass. Get ready, Kentucky, because he's back in the ring. Nobody's going to be able to hold him back. Everybody, be careful, because David Dillon is going to be back in the house. Dave, appreciate the super chat, friend. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. In the meantime, what kind of side gigs are you doing? Let me know. Gustavo, what's a good way to get started in becoming a plumber? So, Gustavo, check this out. I'm going to give you a brief answer, but I want you to know there is a video that I have where I talk about this. You got to type in how to become a plumber, Kenny Molotov, or just how to become a plumber, and scroll through and you'll see me there. Here's basically what you have to do. You have to sit down, assemble a resume first of all. Let me double check. Assemble a resume, and you got to start applying to plumbing companies. I think the best way to start is to get into a plumbing company. If you can't get into a plumbing company and you searched a year and you've thrown your resume out at a bunch of different plumbing companies, what you eventually will want to do is either consider a pre-apprenticeship program, because they're not a bad idea. There are schools that offer pre-apprenticeship programs which will essentially bring you in and teach you what you would learn in your first year of apprenticeship. So you're going to learn some hands-on stuff. You're going to learn tools. You're going to learn basic plumbing techniques and skills and stuff like that. So that's your next step, basically. I hope that helps, Gustavo. You know how we roll in Massachusetts, Chris Haley. David Dillon, nothing on the books right now. Replace 2 outside sills. And get this, a shower head. Easy money. Awesome. Good. It's good that you're keeping busy, David. I'm super happy to find out that you guys are coming in on the 4th. Now, David, why the 4th? Is there is the state opening up? Is there like something going on? No problem, Gustavo. I hope to help. Is there something going on that's making it official where you can officially go back to work, or is that a company-wide thing? Because I remember you were saying that they hired people and fired people. Oh, just when the contract starts. Okay, good to know, David. Glad. Look, I'm super happy that's happening. You're looking at a week away. And by the way, David, that's about 4 days after my EP comes out called Oh My God, the Plumber's Here. I don't know if you guys are into electronic music, but that's my side gig. That's a thing I've been working on for the past 4 years. I just need to shout it out. You ever watch Got to Learn? He's Canadian YouTube plumber too. I have watched Got to Learn, and he's all the way from Quebec. He's a Montreal. I don't know if he's from Montreal. He's definitely from Quebec. He's got that Quebecois accent, that French accent that we have here. Quebec basically is fluent in both languages. So our first language is English, but our second language that we all learn in school, or at least in Ontario for sure, is French. That's the second language that we learn here. So Chris is asking, how is Corona in Canada? Are you guys wearing masks everywhere and limited functionality at businesses? So Chris, Canada's doing okay right now. Let me tell you the numbers in Ontario. We're looking at around something like 165 to 200 cases a day just in Ontario. So the majority of Ontario that's outside of Toronto, which is the big hub, is going into phase 3. And phase 3 allows like restaurants to open up patios. You're allowed to go into malls. You're allowed to go into basically buildings. But like you were already saying, you have to be masked. It's part of the protocol. If you don't wear a mask, I think you have a right to decline people from coming in. And I think there are fines that can potentially come out if that's going to happen. David Dillon is saying G2 got to learn is awesome, but not as good as Kenny. Dave, I appreciate that loyalty, fam, but got to learn. I got to send a shout out to Got to Learn. That man knows what he's doing, man. Those numbers that he's getting are off the charts. And honestly, he's really precise about his stuff. So he puts a lot of effort into the videos. You can see it when I watch a video, I go, man, this guy takes a week to put in a video. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple of weeks sometimes. You could tell there's a lot of effort. Shanika, what's going on? New subscriber, I love your videos and you've inspired me to get into the trade. Should I go union or non-union? Shanika, I have a video called Union and Non-Union. It's a longer one. I think it's in the 20-minute range. And it goes through the pros and cons of both. Shanika, I think what you should do, send your resume out everywhere. Don't discriminate against where you send it out. Send it to the union, send it to non-union. See who bites first. And once somebody bites, you go, you do an interview, you find out what they're like, etc. Shanika, send it out. Don't worry, just send it. Send it as many places as you can because listen, the hardest part for a lot of people is getting their foot in the door. So you don't have the opportunity to pick and choose who gets you in. You know what I'm saying? Send the resume. And once you get in, once you get your foot in the door, you sit and watch. Do you like where you are? Do you like the people? Are you learning a lot? Or, you know, is the environment toxic or is it good? Then you decide if you stay. You know what I'm saying, Shanika? Just send it out. That's all. That's the most important. So, sounds like very similar in Massachusetts. It probably is really similar, Chris. What app or software you use to edit videos? What app or software do you use to edit videos? You ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. I've been using Premiere Pro for years. It's the first software I learned, and I think it's going to be the only software I learned just because I know it so thoroughly. Who knows, actually? Maybe down the road I'll find a software that does the job better or something like that. But Premiere Pro is really darn strong and pretty good, and you could do so much with it. David's saying non-union to Shanika. Don't like giving my money for nothing. Okay. Shanika Desin, and that's just my opinion. That's awesome. Thank you. No problem, Shanika. Kyle ran 30 foot of 4-inch cast iron in a 12-inch nasty crawl space for a bathroom remodel earlier this week. Bro, Kyle, I envy the East Coast for having basements. Everything else feels like easy money now. Anyone else relate? Kyle, 30 feet of 4-inch cast iron in a crawl space. Oh, brother, I got to be honest. I do not envy that job right there. That sound, man, the moment I hear the word crawl, it kind of freaks me out. You know what I'm saying? Because in crawl spaces, a lot of the things that are under there crawl. You know what I'm saying? Kyle, I hear you, man. I got to be honest. I got a question for you, Kyle. Are you antsy when it comes to like rodents and insects and stuff? Because you remember that scene in Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, where they got to put their hand through the creepy crawlers to grab the lever? I don't know if you peeps have seen that video, but ever since I was a young lad, oof, crawl spaces have not been a good thing for me. You know what I'm saying? David Dillon, Kenny Maltaf, have you ever picked up tools that have been recommended to you from on here? How did you like it if you did? So, Dave, what tools have I picked up? Let me think. I can't think off the top of my head which tools I've picked up. Oh, I remember you guys recommending certain charts to me for 45-degree offsets, and I have the list somewhere. That's something I still got to pick up on. Man, peeps, I've been having such a hard time finding time to do things. And yes, Rich, I was going to talk about it. I didn't want to get everybody all hyped up. But I definitely need to get my hands on a good ProPress, because ProPress, what I love about videos of ProPress is I don't know who gets these pinchers, but they have these extra pinchers for tight spots that you put over, and then your ProPress machine will just clip onto it and just zick it tight. So yeah, I definitely need to. Kyle says he's pretty comfortable in tight spaces now, but spiders still make me move fast. Kyle, I'm the same. I'm the same, bro. And what's really interesting is I was talking to my wife about this. My wife hates snakes. Like she's got a morbid fear with snakes. Like it's significant. Snakes don't creep me out. Spiders though, bro, I will take a snake over a spider for some reason, and I don't have a rational reason to. All right, I see some new names. Shanika says, Kenny, would you recommend moving to Canada? Shanika, it really depends. I really think moving is a very difficult process for a lot of people, and it depends on a lot of variables. Number one, do you have people in Canada that you can move with? Because that's always a little bit easier. In other words, do you have family here? You might be able to relocate and get a citizenship and stuff like that. A little bit easier if you have friends and family here. If you don't, keep in mind, look, it might be for you, absolutely. But it's also a very difficult process. Like when you look at my parents who came to Canada, they were first generation, that came to Canada. It's not an easy process. I mean, Shanika, you got the language. My parents had a language barrier, but you got to get there. You got to, first of all, build some money to get here. You got to get here. You got to apply for citizenship. Now you got to look for work. You're trying to hit the ground running. So you want to make sure that you're calling companies before you even get to Canada, or applying to unions before you get to Canada. Like, I think Canada's a lovely place to live. I'm not saying anything. I love Canada. I'm happy to be here. But moving is the question I have. If you're willing to take on the challenges of moving, then it's a great place to be. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that helps. Hope that helps. See, so Kenny Malta, what about the rat scene from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? So David Dillon, I watched I watched a little. I don't remember if it was a documentary or if it was if somebody was doing a voiceover, but they were talking about that rat scene. First of all, I don't know why, but the rat scene didn't scare me as much as the other one. But what's really cool about the rat scene, and what I found out from this voiceover thing, they were talking, I think it was like, they were talking about it, was that those rats were trained to do a circuit. So what would happen is a rat would jump up on the boat, another rat would run this way, and they would train the rats to do the exact same circuit over and over and over again. And that's how smart rats are. Like, rats are actually exceptionally gifted creatures, really intelligent. But I didn't know rats could be trained until then. I think all those rats were born and raised in a lab, and then they had trainers, and then they trained them for months. I mean, it was spectacular. And when you watch that rat scene and you figure that out, you're like, wow, man, you could actually teach a rat to swim in a certain circuit, come up in a certain way. Man, blew my mind when I found that out. All right, let me go back, because I see Deontay Richardson. Hey, Kenny, finally got my letter in the mail from the union. Your interview is August 6th. So excited. Any advice for the interview? Deontay, congratulations. First of all, you're doing a great thing. You finally got your foot in the door. Okay, so Deontay, I assume you applied as a first-year apprentice. Look, if you applied as a first-year apprentice, all you have to do is be honest. Being honest is going to be probably the easiest way to strike it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've put in all this work, you've taken the union test, and then you've gotten a letter in the mail, that's huge news, Deontay. So I think you should continue just being yourself, because being yourself is what got you here to begin with. So, look, it might help to brush up on a little bit of plumbing. Take a look at the vlogs. Maybe you'll learn a couple of things. But for the most part, just let them know you're prepared to work. You're ready to work up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're ready to do the grunt work if you have to do the grunt work. You're ready. You're ready to facilitate whatever the job site needs, and let them know that you're ready to go. I think that's the best way and mentality to come in. Let them know that you're eager to work and that you can start right away. Deontay, I think that's the best you can do. If you want to hit up my plumbing math course, that's always an option if you need math or if you think it's going to help you. I don't think it's going to help you directly for this interview, but it'll help you in the career. But that's something to keep in mind. Check out the vlogs. I got about 76 vlogs out. Check them out. You'll be able to see, different things that I bump into in a job site so that you're aware of things that go on. And that's all, man. Take a look at all the other plumbers on YouTube as well. Take a look at Roger Wakefield, G2L, Got to Learn, Chuck Barron and his boys, and PB Plumber. Check those cats out, man. Check them all out. Find out what they're saying and get as much information like that, Deontay. I think that's the best route for you. You know what I'm saying? But huge congratulations. And I'm going to be upset if you don't keep me in line. Let me know. Let me know how it's going, Deontay. I'm so proud. I'm so proud to hear that. Joe G, I hate crawl spaces. I've come across a snake, raccoon, angry one, and spiders. The snake was the worst. I never know how fast I can crawl, Joe. Joe, I got to be honest. I don't know if I'd like snakes as much if I caught one in a in a crawl space with me, man. And an angry raccoon, I'm out, bro. I'm out. Get that raccoon out, get that snake out, and I'll come back in. But I ain't going back in, man. Joe, what a story, man. That's so funny. Michael, hey Kenny, the biggest difference is I get to do new bypasses, 3-inch copper, hot water tanks, and cast iron drains and roof drains. Very different. Mike, I'm so happy to hear that. Look, what's really great is that you're getting your hands on a bunch of different materials and a bunch of different sizes. Because look, soldering 3-inch copper is an entirely different game than soldering 1/2-inch. Soldering 1.5-inch copper is a different game from soldering, 3/4. It's just a different thing. You got to learn your torch. You got to learn your tools. So you touching as many different materials as you're saying is going to make you such a well-rounded plumber because people are going to say, oh man, I got to run some cast iron. And you'll be like, actually, I've done that before. So you have an inclination as to what needs to be done. David, Rich the Italian plumber, ProPress and PEX is the future of plumbing. Rich, David, I think you're absolutely right. Yes, it's a close quarters adapter. Yep, I use nothing but Uponor and PEX. Awesome to hear. And I think the close quarter adapter is the one I was talking about in regards to getting in tight spaces. David says, Rich the Italian plumber, you the man. Love that stuff. You ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. When do we get to see the pup? You know what? Whenever I'm able to get this darn vlog up and running, you're going to see the pup for sure. I'm definitely going to. She's way bigger than even in the last video. Joe G goes, Rigid, make the C1 press set for the tight corners. Good to know. Let me write that down. Rigid makes a C1 press. Rigid C1 press. Awesome. Kyle, I thought about leaving my Bluetooth speaker in the crawl while I'm out and turning some rattlesnake sounds on for my coworkers when he goes in. Oh, Kyle, that's a good setup right there. That's a good setup right there. What else would you do? What else could we do, man? Let's brainstorm here. What else could you put on? What's a scary what about just random like growling? Oh, that would be good. If you have bears in your area, just random growling would be good too. Oh, that'd be such a good idea, Kyle. Love it. Love it. Joe, don't come to LA if you want to move. Traffic sucks. Joe, listen here. I was talking to a buddy of mine recently. Oh, Joe, we're talking. Joe, are you Hovzep? My bad, bro. Joe, I just realized I was about to tell you about you, Joe. My bad, bro. Shanika is asking, best union to get into. Shanika, the best union I know is the one closest to you, friend. That's all I can really suggest right now. I'm not sure what area you live in. I don't know the union numbers. You hear plumbers talking about Union 440. Victor was talking about local Union 440. I don't know the numbers because I'm not in the union, but Shanika, the best one is the one closest to you because those job sites typically will be in the area you're in. Check that out. David Dillon staying Steve Lav. I think you mean another plumber. I'll check it out. Sorry, Joe. My bad. Laureate! Have you received any sponsors for your videos or looked into any? Just curious because I feel it would greatly help getting your channel larger. Laureate, maybe it will. I have looked into some things. Oh, Milwaukee Force Logic for ProPress. That's another one. Force Logic. Good to know. Good to know. Thanks, Laureate. I'll look into it. Sponsors is something I am looking into. Look, here's what I have to be honest about. Look, I'm just going to rant for a couple of minutes. I find it tremendously difficult to balance my work and then my secondary work, which is my YouTube channel. I find it tremendously difficult, especially when it gets busy. And once it gets busy, I mean, I'm pulling in 8 to 12-hour days. You guys know what it's like, right? 8 to 12-hour days. And then I got to come home. I got to do my editing and put the editing aside. Let's say I could get that done. Man, the hardest part then is the subsequent things you want to do. You want to build online courses for you all because some of you have questions and I got answers. And you know what? I can swap out a great course for you for some of the things that you're getting involved in and that you really need to understand. So when do I have time to do that? Okay, I got to do that on the weekend. Okay, what about the vlog that I have to edit? Okay, let's say I get somebody to edit a vlog for me. That's going to take a lot of money. Vlogs take a lot of work. Okay, let's say I get somebody to edit something else for me. Oh, that's money as well. Okay, let's say I have the money for that. But do I have to babysit this person because they're not competent enough, etc.? So there's a lot to do. Sorry, peeps. That's just YouTube, YouTube struggles. First world problems, as they say. Joe, my bad, bro. My bad. Go M18. M12 is extremely limited. Let me check that out. M18. Thank you, Laureate. You're the best. Yes, I have both Milwaukee Pro Press, 1/2 to 1 inch set, and then a large Milwaukee that's 1/2 inch to 2 inch. Awesome. Shanika, would you consider plumbing essential? Being an American makes me question what is essential and what is not. I was laid off. So, Shanika, here's how I look at it. I personally think plumbing is essential. And the reason why I say that is because I didn't stop when COVID came in. COVID shut down Toronto for us. And I had to still go out once or twice a week. It did get quiet, I ain't gonna lie, but I still had to go out once or twice a week because people were calling me and telling me, look, my drain is clogged. And I'm not talking about just like a kitchen drain. I'm talking about the house is clogged. I had to go in and unclog the entire house. Do you know what I'm saying? So I personally believe plumbing is essential, and a lot of the blue-collar workers and tradespersons are essential because without working lights and without working toilets, sanitation goes away first of all, and people get very uncomfortable. Where are you going to go to the washroom if your toilet's not working? Now, during COVID, it's really hard to go anywhere, right? You got to wear a mask or businesses aren't open or whatever. So, yes, toilets, I think, or plumbing is an essential service. That's my reasoning. I hope that helps. Joe, hey Kenny, what cameras and gears are you using if you don't mind me asking? Joe, I don't mind. I got a G7X. That's what I take on the job site. I also got a Canon 80D. And that's what I do usually in my sit-down sessions that I do with you all during videos where I answer questions or I just have like a heart-to-heart with you all. G7X and Canon 80D. Oh, G7X Mark II, I should say. Rich, the Italian plumber, saying one uses M12 batteries and the other uses M18 batteries. Kenny, Rich, I appreciate that. So M12, M18 different batteries. DJ Double M, do you train plumbers? DJ Double M, in theory I do. If you take my courses, if you take my math course, that's technically a version of training, but for plumbing math. And I think my vlogs are pretty educational. I'm not training specifically in my vlogs, but I do hope to bring out more courses so that people can learn faster and also learn things. You know what I'm saying? Hope that helps. When you film your vids on site, do you use a GoPro or your phone? I use a GoPro. Laureate, Normal actually has a killer deal on the Force Logic ProPress. All right. Force Logic ProPress. I'm going to check that out. Laureate. Appreciate it. Laureate, okay, Rich is saying, Laureate, I'll be honest, we have both and we do service, and we tend to grab the M12 Pro Press more than the M18 unit. Just us. Good to know, Rich. Thanks for letting us know. Is there a reason, Rich? Just curious. Do you use a GoPro for work stuff? Yeah, sorry, Joe. That's my third camera. When I'm doing on-job sites, on the job camera work, I have a GoPro. It's strapped to my head. That's basically what I do. Rich the Italian plumber, it has its place, especially for someone just entering ProPress or frequent user under 1-inch pipe. But the M18 covers all grounds, especially for service. Okay, good to know the differences. Kyle goes, I thought YouTube would be easy. Bought a GoPro, recorded some installs, and found the editing to be agonizing. Ain't easy telling a coherent story in a short period. Kudos to you, Kenny. Kyle, that means the world to me. Thank you. It is not easy. It's something you get better at, Kyle. So please keep trying. But it takes work, man. It takes work for sure. It's a brand new skill set you have to learn. Marcos, M12, it's the best. ProPress, MegaPress, 1/2 and 3/4, and RLS HVAC line, Surjaws. Shanika, Kenny, what is the average salary for a plumber in Toronto? So, Shanika, what I know is plumbers in the union in Toronto, the last I heard make, and these are licensed plumbers, by the way, so you got to go through your apprenticeship, do your 9,000 hours, 3 in-class sessions. They make about $50 an hour, but keep in mind $50 an hour Canadian. That's different in American. It's less. It's like $40 an hour American, or $35 an hour American. Hope that helps, Shanika. Deontay, yeah, Kenny, I'll definitely keep you updated. Please do. I have my concerns, but it's just because it's new to me and it will be different getting used to it and learning. But I want to put in the work. Deontay, look, we all started there, friend. We all started there. We all sucked at the beginning, Deontay. And I'm not sure if you have any experience in the trades. We all started off rough. I'm telling you, man, I couldn't do anything at the beginning. A lot of it's going to be brand new to you. It's common. People expect that. Just be honest. Just let them know, hey, look, I'm green. Be honest about it. At some point, you're not going to be green. At some point, you're going to know. Every year, you're going to know a little bit more. And then new people are going to come up and you're going to see them struggle. You're going to say, you know what, last year I was struggling with that. I could do that. Deontay, it's the part of evolution. It's a part of evolving as an individual and growing as an individual. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to suck and then look back and go, wow, actually, I'm getting better. Look at this. Those days, you'll notice that there are struggling days where you actually push through because of the experience that you've had. Those days are super satisfying, Deontay. So, look, it's going to be hard at the beginning. You still got to go through the interview process. Go through that. Try it out. Interviewing also is something people have to get better at. Some people don't interview great. I have friends that spend weeks just practicing interviews. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to keep in mind as well. But eventually, and if you've gotten this far, man, I think you're a really good candidate to get in, honestly, because you've already taken the union test from what I understand. And you've passed with flying colors from what I remember you saying. Just keep going, Deontay. You got this, friend. Keep your chin up. It's smaller, Kenny, and can get into tighter spaces. Thanks, Rich. Editing videos, stick to simplistic. Nothing crazy fancy. Best to have something you can continuously use instead of custom every time. Starting always takes the longest since that is when you are legitimately creating everything from scratch. Yeah, starting is the hardest, I agree. Simple introductions, simple transitions, etc. Thanks, Laureate. Oh, Harsimran Dylan, Calgary fan here. What's going on, Harsimran? Hi, Kenny. I'm starting the pre-employment this fall as I have never been into construction. Harsimran, congratulations on getting your foot in the door in your pre-employment program. You're going to learn a ton, which is the most important. And look, like anything, start slow and eventually you're going to become a pro. Joe says, Joe, you were all over this ProPress stuff. I've used both the Milwaukee and Rigid ProPress. I ended up picking up the RP241 by Rigid, which does 1/2 inch to 1.25 inch copper and 1/2 inch to 1 inch glass lines. Pretty good tool. Joe, you were saying, man, I remember your Instagram was going crazy with that Rigid stuff. So I hear you. ProPress is the way to go. Everybody's loving this stuff. Everybody's loving the system. People go with Milwaukee because they usually have Milwaukee power tools. Joe, and that's sort of where Dad and I fall into as well. And the batteries, exactly. My dad's got a ton of batteries now because he's been using Milwaukee for years. So peeps, we're coming on the 1 hour time frame. So do me a favor. We'll give you 10 more minutes. Hit me up with any questions. Kyle says, union workers here in San Francisco Bay Area, California, pull $74 an hour plus benefits. Open shop licensed plumbers here charge $120 an hour on the low end, anywhere from $35 to $75 an hour as a journeyman for a company. Wow, those are some amazing numbers there. San Francisco, though, is known to be really a very expensive area to live in. So everybody that lives in San Francisco, I assume, has to also charge a lot for the same reasons. In other words, if your rent is that high, you got to be making money to get in, basically, to be surviving. Joe G, what kind of luck are you having with ProPress on gas lines? Does the seal hold? David, from what I know, Joe is having a great time with it. James, love this channel. You seem like an amazing plumber. Keep up the good work. I always listen to your live streams. Thank you. James, I appreciate you hanging out, friend. I appreciate you saying those kind words as well. That's lovely to hear. Thank you for checking everything out. Joe says, yes, definitely holds. Rich says, I'm getting $150 an hour in Massachusetts for my son and I together rate. Oh, okay, I see. So your son working with you, you're charging $150 an hour, which covers you and the company, plus your son working as an apprentice or a plumber. Right, that makes sense. Joe says there's a specific galvanized connection for gas and water. Rich says, no issue with MegaPress here in Massachusetts. We use it daily. Michael, is getting into plumbing at 18 a good age to start? Rich says, yes. Michael, anytime is a good time to get into plumbing. 18 years old is a fantastic time to get into plumbing. If you're interested in plumbing. So, Michael, hold on. Michael, here's something I got to say, though. You're going to need your high school diploma if you plan on getting licensed, Mike. So if you plan on going the licensing route, if wherever you live, there's a license and you have to go through schooling for that license, at minimum, you're going to need a high school diploma to get into that college. So if you're in high school, it's in your best benefit to finish high school, get that diploma under your belt, and then take on the trade immediately. If that's what you're interested in, absolutely. Chase it. Chase it because there are good benefits. It's a skilled trade. You could always go into different aspects of plumbing once you get licensed. It's so vast. There's so many things you can do. And then you can consult. A lot of people just want to know things about plumbing. So, in other words, Michael, absolutely. Peeps, we got 7 minutes left. Hit me up with more questions. Dave goes, Joe G, understood. We have had some issues with water, but could have been our inexperience with the tool and not pinching correctly. You have your whole life ahead of you. I started at 13, LOL. I'm 49 now. So, Michael, listen to Rich, the Italian plumber, 49 years old. Let's do some math. You are 36 years in the trade, Rich. 36 years. That's 3 decades, almost 4. That's experience. And Mike, that just goes to show you this is a career. This is something you're not only going to learn, but you're going to continue learning through every single decade. Rich has learned so many things because Rich started off with a certain type of material, and then as things progressed, more materials were introduced, and as things progressed, more tools were introduced. So Rich, even at his age now, 49, is still learning the trade. You are always learning, which is why it's a career, which is why it's a lot of fun. So Mike, we have nothing but good things to say about getting into the trade. So David Dillon, Joe G goes, David Dillon, on galv or copper? You ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. Does your dad pay for gas and your tools for the van? So you ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. Dad's offered to pay for gas for the van, but here's what I got to be honest about. I told my dad that I take the truck from time to time leisurely to Home Depot if I got to go pick up some stuff. I drive it around sometimes. So I told him, look, I'm going to cover the gas. That way I don't feel guilty taking advantage of the truck because I put miles on it leisurely sometimes. I take it out for things if my wife's car is not in the driveway. You know what I'm saying? So he would. That's how typically companies do it. And in regards to tools, yes, he pays for the tools. And then I pick up the tools that I want, sort of thing, and I add to the box. Harsimran, is there any phase in the career when you hit with a very low number of hours? In other words, does plumbing has secured regular paychecks? Harsimran, here's what you have to know. Plumbing, like every industry, has its ups and downs, and it also depends from company to company. So look, some companies are so big that they're always busy, but especially when COVID hit, they had to lay off a lot of people because it still got slow for them. There weren't as many calls coming in because people didn't want people coming to their houses. You know what I'm saying? So Harsimran, there are times during the year where it gets quiet. I find for our company, it gets quiet right before the Christmas break or the holidays in December. And it also gets quiet right before September and school. Once school is let in, it starts to pick up momentum. And once the new year comes, it starts to pick up momentum. So there are ups and downs with everything. And if you're going union, unions work typically according to projects. Sometimes projects are finishing, so it gets quiet. Sometimes projects are starting and it gets really crazy busy. Harsimran, I hope that helped. Joe G, high quality H20. Yep, Joe G, sorry, copper. Did you start your YouTube channel through the business, writing off what was purchased, etc.? I want to take on video seriously in the coming future. Was wondering if that's how you went about it. Laureate, no, it was a personal pursuit. I paid for everything, but plumbing helped me pay for it, basically. Michael Porter, yeah, I'm really looking forward into my career. Mike, keep it up, buddy. Joe G, Waterboy quote, haha, I have had the same problem. Pinch again at different angle. Make sure inner seal and copper pipe are clean. Hey, Kenny, I miss your Day of Plumber vlogs. Joe, brother, I miss them too. I'm going to get on them. I promise, peeps. Joe G, we did, but did not know about it till water on board, lol. Kyle Fogel, plumbers protect the health of the nation, respect the trade, wear the title with a badge of honor. I'm out of here. Kyle, peace, brother. Thanks for hanging out and telling us all that information. Kyle Fogel, be careful, my friend. Have a good night. David, once again, I appreciate that super chat, brother. You are always a pleasure to hang out with. And peeps, we got 3 more minutes. Your advice is always rich. Thank you. Harsimran, I'm glad I can help, friend. I'm glad I can help. Best of luck with your pre-apprenticeship. Peeps, 3 more minutes, actually 2 more minutes. Let me know what's going on. Any more questions, hit me up. And then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to grab some food because I'm starving, fam. I hope you all have been able to enjoy your weekend at least. With the times that we're in, we have patios finally opening. Great chat tonight, everyone. Rich, I agree. Thank you for hanging out, Rich, and for your 36 years of knowledge. I really appreciate it. The 3 minutes left. I have to do it. Milwaukee sucks. David, what's your next video? Michael, I don't know yet. Rich, thank you. Mike, any suggestions? Is there a video you want to see? I'll write it down, and if it's a good idea, I'll go for it. Who else feels that Kenny could be one of those guys that could be your best friend? Joe, you are my best friend, baby. Don't you worry. I appreciate you saying all those lovely, kind words. And Joe, I hope everything's going well that we talked about. I want to see another day in the life. Okay, Mike, I'll write that down. Day in the life. We got a vote here. Day in the life. We're going to do one of those. Vlog coming your way. Milwaukee all the way. Peace out. You ain't plumbing. You ain't nothing. Peace out, friend. Appreciate you hanging out. All right, 1 minute left. David, I don't appreciate you stomping on us at the end with that Milwaukee beef, but you know I love you. Just an average day, nothing special. Show a real day. All right, I will. I'll give you a full day of what's going on. Yes, sir. More day in the life vids. Thank you for the content, brother. Chris, my pleasure. Dave, thank you, brother. Milwaukee all the way. Default sucks. Mike, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, friends. Friends, DeVault. Yeah, I got it, Rich. I know you were ragging on DeVault. I got you. Peeps, I love you all. I really appreciate you hanging out with me on a Saturday night. You're the best. Be healthy. Stay safe. You are all important. And let's go do some delicious plumbing. I'm out. Oh, and the phone drops.